Guys, I get calls, emails, and texts from investors just like you looking to make a move into the Myrtle Beach oceanfront condo or commercial property game. I want to help you do that. Give me a call. Stop letting fear drive you. Stop sitting on the sidelines. Don't be a stranger. I'm going to help you get through the hurdles. Richard Terzo, my lender here, he's going to help you break through with his financial wizardry on all those financing issues and hurdles that you're having. So I don't care if you're 3 months or 6 months or 1 year out and you're just thinking about it. Pick up the phone and give us a call so that we can help break the back of what's stopping you from investing in Myrtle Beach oceanfront condos.
You're interested in financing real estate, whether it's a short-term vacation rental, an investment property, or a strategic refinance. And I'd like to show you how investors actually structure their financing to build wealth over time. In this video, you'll discover what separates average loan options from smart investor-focused lending strategies. I'll walk you through how different financing products work, including DSCR loans, cash-out refinances, HELOCs, short-term rental financing, and low down payment jumbo loans, and how each one fits into a larger investment plan. We'll also break down how lenders view income, risk, and leverage when you're buying or refinancing investment property. We'll take a closer look at how market conditions impact rates and approvals, when refinancing actually makes sense, and how experienced investors use leverage responsibly to grow portfolios without overexposing themselves. I'll also explain where traditional banks fall short and where specialized investor lending can open doors most people don't realize exist. I'll also give you a snapshot of today's lending landscape, showing you which loan programs are most attractive right now, where underwriting is loosening or tightening, and what opportunities investors should be paying attention to in the current market cycle. If you stay tuned until the end, I'll share practical financing strategies I've seen work repeatedly over my 30 years in the industry. Approaches that have helped investors acquire more properties, unlock trapped equity, and improve long-term cash flow. So whether you're buying your investment property, refinancing an existing portfolio, pulling equity to scale, or optimizing your financing structure, whether you're putting 20% down, using DSCR income, tapping a HELOC, or leveraging a jumbo loan. If investor-focused real estate financing is what you're looking for, you'll walk away from this video with insights that can make a meaningful difference in your returns.
All right, guys, of course I have with me Richard Terzo, the premier lender I use for all of my deals for oceanfront condos. You name it, he handles it. Now, he's a 25-year veteran to the business. He's been a builder. He is currently a lender for going on 14 years now.
Yep.
He has been, you've obviously done some investments as well.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been an agent. He was a broker. He had a team. The man is extremely knowledgeable when it comes to real estate, specifically condotels that you want to invest in as far as oceanfront condos. We're going to discuss just really quick a current client that we've been working with. Want to break down some of the financing highlights so that you can see behind the curtain really what goes into structuring and financing a solid deal. Now, this particular client, we won't call her name. I'm going to call her Alicia.
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 Right.
But that's not her name. Anyways, Alicia. So
Miss Alicia.
Miss Alicia calls me. She calls me right off of YouTube, like many of you guys do, which, by the way, don't be a stranger. Pick up the phone, text me, email me, call me. That's how deals happen, and that's how you go from sitting on the sidelines with all kinds of reasons why you cannot invest to in the game, actually an investor, because you partner with an investor broker and a lender like myself and Richard that knocks these deals out of the park. In the last 2 years, I think I've done about 53 deals. So
and we can't help you if you don't raise your hand.
If you don't pick up the phone and text or call. I had a guy call me yesterday. No, excuse me. Yesterday, yeah. I can't tell you his real name. We're going to call him Brian just for all sake. And he calls me and he goes, "Hey, I'm thinking about investing. How's the CMIST?" We all know about the CMIST. I let him know you can't get financing under $100,000, essentially for the most part, right?
Yeah, it becomes a challenge. But I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't exist, but
it's not that he can't do it. Okay, he can do it. But, for the most part, generally lenders don't lend under $100,000. Your minimum loan is going to be about $130,000 on a property. Well, CMIS condos are probably the cheapest condos in the entire United States. I mean, you can buy a condo for $50,000, an ocean view condo. Oceanfront's maybe 70 or 80. I haven't checked in a while. The point is, they're super cheap.
A little down there. I mean, I've got people that will go down to about 75,000. Under that, we've got to get creative with some different financing options. But yeah, typically anything 50,000 or less, it doesn't.
You might as well take a loan out on your house, right?
Yeah, there's other ways that are going to be better for you anyway.
He can do HELOCs for you. He does them all the time. We're going to get into that on Miss Alicia's story.
All right, Miss Alicia. Yeah.
But so guy calls me and he goes, "Hey, I want to buy this. I'm thinking about buying a condo at CMIS. Can I make money doing it?" Yeah, you can. I had a client there that made $33,000 renting out an ocean view unit. I talked to another guy who made $28,000. He owned 2 units there, lived in one, rented out the other. We're talking clearing $10,000 to $12,000, maybe $14,000 in profit per year at the CMIST.
That's 50% of the property value. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I get it.
I'll take 10 of those.
Now, some people, it is not the nicest place in our market. Let's be honest. And so some investors have a hard time separating how nice the property is with, or also, there's a market for every type of property on the books.
I know plenty of people who have become millionaires being slumlords.
And it's so funny that you say that. He actually used that term, and he owned another property back home where he was from in Hickory, North Carolina. And he didn't like the whole slumlord experience that he had with that other property. So that kind of steered him away from investing in the CMIST. Yep. He's going to, he owns a collectible car. He's going to go ahead and talk to his wife about selling his collectible vehicle and then purchasing maybe a $120,000 condo. That's at a little bit nicer of a place, maybe something like the Compass Cove. But the point is, his family could use it. It would be a better fit, and it's going to make him great money. Anyways.
I've got one builder friend of mine that said the most money he ever made in his life is when he had, tons of very low economic and underprivileged houses, but he had to go around weekly to collect rent and had to carry a gun with him to make sure, he was safe. And so not ideal for all people.
And, just getting into that, people are always concerned about the operational side of this when they're self-managing oceanfront condos. Flat out, guys, it's going to be very, very clear. The smaller oceanfront condos, they're going to have more fraudulent claims. There's going to be more operational headaches, more issues. The larger oceanfront condos tend to have less fraudulent claims and less issues with those guests. There's just no way around it. There's less risk when you buy a larger oceanfront condo as compared to a smaller oceanfront condo. Now, I've been ranting and raving about Brian, I think his name was.
I think that's what you
but let's talk about Alicia. Alicia and her 3 loans.
Possibly, yes. So let's get back to the beginning. So basically she wanted to purchase an investment property.
Yep. Came from YouTube.
Yep. And
just like you.
She didn't have the funds for the down payment for the property that she wanted. So the first thing we needed to do was look at getting her the money for the down payment. So one of the first things we look at is, do you have other properties and things that you can pull from?
401ks,
help leverage
properties.
If 401k is the way you want to go, there's pros and cons of that. But if you've got, investment properties that you own free and clear, or if you have a large amount of money in your primary residence and you want to leverage that to, for an investment. And again, we can probably go over a lot of pros and cons of the different ways in which we could do that. Okay. So the first thing we did was we looked at her primary residence because she had a ton of equity in it. And really, she wasn't opposed to pulling that equity out to purchase this next property because she really thought, this next property is going to be a great investment for her, which it will be.
Because she's working with a solid broker.
Yeah, solid
That's going
broker
to
and
help
somebody who's going
her
to help
invest in a place that's going to make her money.
Yep.
Which, by the way, is a very big difference from a lot of the agents in our market. I want to throw that out there. You need a broker that specializes, and you need somebody that's like a lending person that specializes in these type short-term vacation rental properties, because anybody can tell you anything.
Yeah. And I'll say this is a good example of having a team that will work with you that isn't transactional based. We're not looking at, hey, let's get this one deal done and get a paycheck and go on to the next. This is, hey, how can we take somebody and help them build wealth, help them lower their expenses and improve their life. And so this is a great example of somebody who basically just wanted to purchase another investment, thinking they can make a little money off of it. And by the time's all said and done, I think we're really going to end up changing this person's life.
No, and explain. Go for it.
So back to trying to find the money for the down payment, we were looking at taking some equity out of her primary residence. However, she's she's had some issues, some things going on where some bills have been run up a little bit. Some are medical, some are just life. Also, a lot of how her taxes have been prepared and the way she structured her businesses haven't always painted the best picture of where she's at financially,
which is probably common to a lot of people. You see that pick up the phone and call off of YouTube that want to buy an oceanfront condo. They've never really been an investor, or they've never been a business person or business minded. And so they weren't taking into account the things that they needed to take into account ahead of time when structuring and doing their business operations. And then it kind of gets them in a little bit of a pickle when you want to do financing, which is why you need a wizard like Richard Terzo.
You just need somebody who cares,
who knows how to work magic on the numbers. He's like, woo! And next thing you know.
And we're going to take our time on this one because luckily she came to us at a good time where it's tax season, and we've got time to kind of help her find the right people that can help her and advise her on the changes that she needs to make on how she structures her business and how she does her taxes to better prepare her for the next steps. So the first thing we looked at was the primary residence, but because of the income and the debt issues or debt to income ratio that we look at.
Gotta explain it. Gotta explain it for them.
Well, debt to income.
First time investors, debt to income ratio is?
Basically it's just what it says, your debt to your income. So what we have to do is look at the income that we can allowably use, because not all income is allowed under some financing programs. For instance, if you've been in business less than 2 years for yourself, we can't necessarily use that income. If it's a second job or part-time job that you haven't been on for 2 years, we're not able to use that income. If it's a rental property rental income on a property that you either write off a lot of expenses or haven't owned for a significant period of time, in a lot of cases we're not able to use that. In some cases.
So let's just hypothetically say I come to you and I'm like, well, I made $100,000 last year.
Yep.
But my adjusted gross income
and we get that a lot.
Was $60,000.
And that can work out both ways. I've had clients sit there and tell me, oh, you see the Mercedes I've got parked out there? How do you think I can't afford that Mercedes? And everything. I'm like, it's very, very easy. You don't pay for the roads to drive the Mercedes on. I do. So if you're not claiming it, under your taxes and not, reporting it, then we can't necessarily use it for income.
I mean, you should say that one more time, because there's plenty of people that are like, I make $200,000 a year. There's no way I can't afford this.
Yeah,
and on paper,
I get it all the time. That people who, especially that are self-employed, they'll come to me and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I made $500,000 last year," and it's like, "Yo, your company made $500,000. You had $800,000 in business expenses that you wrote off. You lost $300,000 on paper.
On paper, you don't got any money."
And unfortunately,
Can't finance
the
no
banking
money.
system nowadays, we have to go by what's on paper.
Yeah.
You know, 25 years ago, it was different. I think when I bought my first house, it was basically, okay, you're alive, you've got an 800 credit score. How much money did you say you made? Okay, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
It does not work like that anymore.
Nope.
So unfortunately, yeah, on paper, Alicia didn't have the best. It didn't really, yeah.
Income.
It just the math did not work for her. So we had to go and look at some other properties. Luckily she does own some other investment properties, and she does have some properties that she owns free and clear. Now, when it comes to investment properties, the big product that you see advertised out and a lot of people are sitting there promoting is the DSCR product, which is debt service coverage ratio.
I like them.
Now, there's a lot of different variations of those programs, and a lot of people that say they do those programs don't really do those programs in-house, or their company brokers them to other companies that do actually do them. Our company is a little different. We have probably 25, 30 different investors in-house that actually do DSCR, that we underwrite for, we process it, we fund it, we do it all. And so we've got a lot of flexibility to shop it and compare guidelines and match you up with who's going to give you the best rate, the best, it's not always even about the rate, but who's going to have the best program that is going to fit what your needs are. Because we can get a whole nother product, video about that as far as structuring the deal to meet your long-term objectives. We can get it.
It's a whole other
Let's
thing.
get back to Alicia.
So three loans.
Yes.
So we did a cash out refinance.
Okay.
We did HELOC.
So now
what do we do?
So
for the down payment funds.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to one of her other investment properties where she doesn't necessarily need to show her income. With the DSCR, that's the nice advantage. We don't need to see her income. Does the property cash flow?
Oh, well, you probably need to set it up and let them know exactly the big benefit of a DSCR loan, guys, is if you have a certain credit score and you've got the money to pay down, you're gold. Like, they don't care about seeing your financial statements, right?
Well, we want to make sure the property cash flows. So we do check out the property to make sure
the property
structurally and safety, and that the numbers look good. We look at the rental income for that property. We can use long-term rental. We can use short-term rental, and if that property cash flows, and truthfully, I have one investor that will do a no ratio DSCR loan.
What does that mean?
It basically means that if it's an investment property and you got the down payment money, then they don't even care if it cash flows.
That's wild.
Now the rate's going to be a little bit higher because it's going to be more risky of a loan. And that's how DSCRs work. The better it cash flows, the more money you're making off of it, the better the interest rate, the better the terms you're going to get on those.
You're learning straight from the horse's mouth.
Yep. So we're going to take one of our other investment properties, and we're going to pull some money out of that. But instead of taking that money and just going and purchasing another investment property, which a lot of transaction people would be like, yeah, let's do that. Let's just take this money. Let's go get you another property, get a paycheck, and go.
Okay.
This is how we're going to change her life.
This is where Richard Terzo's different, which is why I insist that all of my clients use him.
Mm-hmm. We're going to slow down the process a little bit, and I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait another month to go sell her a new investment property. Fine. But we're going to take the money from the DSCR investment property, that loan that we do for her, and we're going to take that to her primary and pay down a lot of her debts. We can pay off a lot of cards and credit cards and other expenses that she has. Okay. This is going to allow her to refinance her primary property, pull out enough money to put down on the investment property, and lower her total monthly expenses by nearly $2,000.
That's what you can't get in other lenders. He's basically going to consolidate the multiple interest rates that she's paying on all these other debts, wipe them off the book, and because they're wiped off the book and paid off from the money that he took out on the investment property, now she's gold on paper.
So when her objective was to buy another small investment property just to hopefully bring in a few extra bucks, a month. Now, before we even get to that, we've already saved her $2,000 a month and put the money in her pocket to go buy that investment property, where she's going to buy that. And, so now we're essentially doing 3 loans. We're going to take cash out of the investment property.
Yep.
We're going to refinance her primary residence, and then we're going to go get her a new investment property that she can make money on. And at the end of the day,
she's going to be in a good position.
Yeah, she's going to basically have another property, and her total, out-of-pocket expense is going to be
way low,
no more than what she's, paying now with the additional property, and she's going to be bringing
instead of it being in debt.
Yeah.
Instead of instead of having a ton of liabilities on the books, now she's got another income producing asset on the books,
which means her credit score is also going to go way up.
Yeah,
too.
so she's essentially going to be paying about the same amount of money that she's already paying.
Well, I mean,
she might save some money.
Not if tenants paying that money for her.
Well, that's always a plus. Yeah, that's always a plus.
I mean,
but I'm just saying, like, the out-of-pocket expenses. She'll probably save some money there, but her position is going to be way better.
Yes,
and that's how an investor thinks. An investor is putting themselves in a solid position, mitigating risk, increasing assets, reducing liabilities all throughout the process. Now, I'm going to help you do that when you're making the actual investment on the actual deal. Terzo is going to help you do that in your financial life. It is very, very smart to get a hold of him earlier on in the process, so that when you finally do work up the courage to pick up the phone and call, you don't find out, hey, I'm going to need 4 more months or 6 more months because I got to jump through some hoops to get myself in a better financial position. So if you are a dentist, a plastic surgeon, a doctor, a lawyer, a small business owner, if you are a professional, an executive, and you're considering maybe transitioning into hard assets like property, short-term vacation rentals in our market, commercial investments like oceanfront duplexes, quadplexes, maybe multifamily properties, whatever. You want to buy an office, a hotel, I can help you do all that. But the point is to start having the conversations with the right professionals now, the people on our team, so that we can give you these kinds of results, and also over the next 10 to 15 years, continue to help you build and grow and scale a portfolio so that your passive income is just steady coming in. You're in a good financial position. You can sit back and enjoy the rewards. That's our goal here.
Yep. Now, I want to throw out one thing. You mentioned several doctors in that.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Okay. Our company has a phenomenal doctors program. It's a new program. It's unlike a lot of other programs out there for doctors.
Yep.
So it's good for residents and young doctors just getting into the profession. We can do 100% financing up to $3 million properties.
Come on. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we do not have to.
100, no down payment?
And we do not have to look at student loans as part of their debt-to-income ratio.
But they like that.
Because, a doctor comes out with $300,000-$400,000 in student loans. In the first couple of years, they're not making as much money.
Come on, dude.
So it's really hard for them to get qualified for a property. This program allows them to, because you're a doctor. We know you're going to be making money, in the future. We know you're good for it. So we're trying to make it easy for you to get into a home and, start reaping the benefits of home ownership as early as possible. And then once you are a home owner and you have that established, then we can start building the investment empire.
Now, guys, I am Brandon Cusack. This is Richard Terzo. We're right here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I help investors. He helps investors. We help investors just like you purchase investment properties all the time in our market. Stop sitting on the sidelines. Stop being afraid. Don't spend 2 more years thinking about this. You will kick yourself in the tail because you're wasting your time. Time is against you in the investment game. You build wealth by getting in the game. So pick up the phone and give me a call. It's 843-360-1737. Terzo.
CarolinaLender.com.
Yep. You can look down in the video description. You'll find more information on him, more information on me. Pick up the phone. I look forward to hearing from you guys.